Hey guys, Splendid Engine Studios here, and I don't really do many videos like this where I actually use the camera still, but I figured I would actually make this a very interesting video, considering that there's only one person who has done this, but he only has one out of the two of these. Today, we're going to be taking a look at these screener copies of Thomas's Sodor Celebration and Songs from the Station. How I got these, Jesus, I can't even speak today. Sodor Celebration I have acquired off of eBay lot about a few months ago, and then Songs from the Station I bought off a friend of mine on his eBay page. I messaged him, asked him if he was willing to sell this, even offering for some sort of exchange or a deal or something for it, but he was just willing to sell it to me, and he put it on his page, and I bought it. I don't think there's actually anybody else that has both of these. It's either they have Songs from the Station or they have Sodor Celebration. It's usually just one over the other. But also what we're going to be doing is doing a little comparison video between their retailer counterparts, like their official releases. So we'll push Songs from the Station out of the way first, and move on to Sodor Celebration, since it was the first one that they put out. There already is a video discussing about the screener copy. The user is PBM's Video Entertainment. He actually made a video talking about the screener copy of this DVD, but I'm also going to add a few extra little details and just do like a little recap in case you guys have not seen that video. So here are the screener and the retail copies side by side. The first thing that I definitely noticed right off the bat was it uses a prototype cover for the screener compared to the finalized version. The Thomas is not fully finalized. This one's more of like a darker color. They colored in the running board a little bit more of a white. The face is a bit edited, and Thomas is a bit more blue. Whereas the screener, it's just like the standard model. They didn't really fiddle around with anything. It looks exactly like how they probably took the picture. The next thing is, of course, the bottom. The screener says, for screening purposes only, this DVD does not contain bonus features. Whereas, of course, the retail copy does not have this present. The 60th anniversary stamp is slightly moved up on the screener compared to the final version. It makes perfect sense why, because of this. Other than that, the covers are basically almost the same. Now we'll take a look at the spines. The spines I thought were exactly the same, and noticed that the screener has a thinner shade of blue for the outline and is also missing the exclamation point. Whereas the final copy, the blue border outline is a lot thicker, and there's an exclamation point at the end. And also there's a little red line on the bottom of the screener that's not present on the final version. The back is probably the most noticeable difference. The screener says not for resale, right where the barcode would be at, unlike the final version. This is also the biggest difference, is where the story stops and the song selection is. Obviously it just shows the stories and the songs, whereas the final version includes the bonus features and what's included. And obviously, since this is a screener, there's no menu or anything. Screener has the Thomas the Tank Engine website and not the Thomas and Friends website, and it also has a 60-minute runtime. Slightly different information on that corner. Whereas this one, it has the Thomas and Friends website, and it has 210 minutes, including the bonus features. The blurb is also slightly different of how it's typed out, but other than that, that's basically the only other difference. Now, if we open it up, this is what the screener disc looks like. On the top says for screening purposes only, and uses the prototype Thomas. Whereas the final version, which also includes a yellow pamphlet, usually when you first bought this item back when it came out, the Thomas is finalized, and it also has the running time and the bonus features. You can see a perfect example of them side by side. Both still use the red case, which I found pretty interesting, but other than that, that's about it. Obviously, the screeners have a little text saying on the bottom right corner, usually, it says for screening purposes only, exclusive property of Hit Entertainment. But the master that they use on the screener DVD is actually slightly different compared to the final version. So on the episode Halloween, at the very end, us Americans, we ended up getting the non-ghost ending where it just shows Thomas and Emily puffing out of the smelters, and it's like them coming this way instead of them going that way. The ghost ending is present on the screener. That's not present on the final version. So basically we got like the UK version of that, and I found that just super interesting.
Whenever Thomas and Emily went back to the smelter's yard, they knew there was nothing to be scared of. After all, there is no such thing as ghosts. It was all silly make-believe.
And now we're going to be taking a look at Songs from the Station. So here's both of them side by side. Right off the bat, another thing I noticed, and this is actually present on both of the screeners, they use the prototype covers because the Thomas and Friends logo is actually lowered down a little bit, and so is the Songs from the Station logo compared to the final version. Obviously, for screening purposes only, this DVD does not contain bonus features as present, unlike this one. Now, the spine almost looks exactly the same. The only difference is the screener says SC and then WR. Not exactly too sure what that means, but there's that. And then, of course, they just have the slightly different numbers. But other than that, both spines are exactly the same. And then on the back, once again, just like with Songs from the Station, or Thomas's Sodor Celebration, excuse me. This is not for resale, where the barcode would usually be placed. Surprisingly, the box is exactly the same. The placement is not really different. I mean, the blurb is slightly altered a little bit, but that's about it. Right here where it says our song tracks and the story stops, it doesn't have this yellow oval shape around it. Obviously, another difference is the fact that it does not include the fun and games, since there's no menu on this. Basically, the blurb is basically the same thing, same website and everything. The only difference is it says that the running time is 40 minutes on the screener, and the retail version is 120 minutes, including the bonus features. So now if you look at the discs, the screener has actually a slightly different disc design. It still says for screening purposes only, but it also has this little item number. And then the final version, which, like I said, would also include a pamphlet. It's more of a final version. It even has the 60th anniversary logo, the DVD logo, the hit logo. It's just slightly different. So if I put them side by side, they're definitely very different. It's a little bit more noticeable on Songs from the Station compared to Thomas and Sodor Celebration. Other than that, that's about it. I thought this would be a cool little comparison video. And also just to show that these do exist in case most people do not know that. And they're extremely rare, so if you happen to come across them, definitely pick them up. I got lucky and I got them for a decent price. Regardless, still very, very neat pieces to have in the collection nonetheless. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.